I'd like to call Dr. Susan Vosloo. You're most welcome to bring your glass of wine.
I'll bring my mom's.
Susan Vosloo has one of the highest rates of survival in cardiac surgery. As a cardiothoracic surgeon, she is esteemed internationally. As a television producer and director, I often have attended some of her surgical procedures, and unbeknown to her even, you'd find people watching her, and I'd ask them, "Who are you?" And they say, "Oh no, I flew in from the United States, and I've requested to be present while she's doing a procedure." Susan is truly a remarkable surgeon. She says she's remarkable because she loved needlework as a child. And she says her kind of surgery is more needlework than cutting. But there are many areas leading up to a transplant and following a transplant that require our urgent attention. So with Susan as the chairperson, we have started a new organization called Angel Touch. And she and my partner Jan came up with a title, and I don't think I had any option but to accept it, but I do. And I think it is a very accurate one, Angel Touch. Susan, I'm going to ask you to tell us a bit more about Angel Touch.
Okay, just briefly, I think what we do is we do the operation. Now, there are two important points. When you do something like a transplant, it's not only the relationship between the surgeon and the patient. What is important is that you need input from society, you need input from the community, because unless there's a family that makes this really important decision to allow the team to harvest the organs of somebody that passed away, and this is also not planned, so people are totally unprepared to do this, and it's what makes this even a bigger gift. So a family of people make a decision that they want to have some consolation for losing someone by donating the organs, so that someone who has end-stage heart failure, lung problems, kidney failure, liver failure, have a new chance to live. That is one aspect. That's what we do. But when we do this, we do not forget that people who are in this situation have several other challenges which we realize, but it's not really that we deal with it. And the initiative of this Angel Touch is also to support people that are really ill, that can have the medical treatment they need, but they have other challenges in their lives that one doesn't think of that needs attention. Once they've had their surgery and you think it's been successful, it's not like they go back into the community without challenges. To go back to work, if you've had a fixed appointment, or you had a job like maybe like our government that makes all the rules that people can't work when they want to, but those people that get a salary, they get sick leave, they go back into their paid jobs. But if you work for yourself and you were sick for months and you had a big operation, you recover for months, it's not like you can get into the field of employment with no challenges. And some people find it hard to overcome those challenges, and those are things that need to be people need to be aware of and see how can we address that. I hope that answers your
It
question.
does, it does. And on that very specific point, I would like to ask Werner to come up to the stage. And he is going to talk about, well, let me ask the question and then he'll see what he's going to talk about. And it's quite simply the challenges. Werner, now that I see you, you are in a very different space than before. But shortly after the transplant surgery, I found that you were almost overwhelmed by the economic consequences. Won't you talk about that?
Certainly. In my situation, it's exactly what Susan was saying. I had a very successful guest house, touring company. I was self-employed. We were earning good money, euros, dollars, tourists from all over the world. I was an adrenaline junkie. I did shark cage diving. I've done every type of activity within the Cape Town area, bungee jumping, kite surfing, skydiving. We had a really good business because we offered something that nobody else had. We had a touring company and we had a property that we turned into a guest house. So we had a one-stop service for the international tourist. They came, we picked them up at the airport. They literally had their accommodation sorted and all their touring, and everything was versatile. You could say, but when we do this, we can still add this. And so we were giving more than what the average company was doing out there. And then, of course, bang, it happened to me. And I lost everything. The bank took the cars, they took the house, everything just went down the drain. Now, when you're basically working for yourself, you don't have all those fancy insurances. And even if you do, there's always that clause, that loophole. So you basically sit in a situation where you have to now pick up that shattered mirror and take every little piece and try and put back the puzzle. My family isn't in this country. They're scattered all over the world. My parents live in Munich in Germany. My brother's in Zambia. Most of my family come from Vancouver. We have cousins out in Australia, so we're all spread all over. So there's no like family support like that you can lean on. So that's where we came up with this concept that after you've had the transplant, you've got to take your medication and you have to follow the rules and what have you. But to start life again, when you've lost everything, that's the challenge. And that challenge is very difficult if you don't have a backbone. Family support, friends. So what do? I turned to the media. I started creating a website. I started sucking information from international companies that were doing organ donations, and I was seeing what are you guys doing that we're not doing. And there was that big loophole of the aftercare to help the patient to get back on their feet. So that's how this whole concept came alive. We planted the seeds with the sun, and today we have something that is now going to grow into a direction that's actually going to help not only myself, but the future patients that are going to be in this situation. And don't think it can't happen to you. Sure. I also said, it's for old people. I'm not going to have a heart attack. I'm a swimmer. I was fit, worked out, muscles, everything. It's shredded to nothing. Your entire life falls apart. You pick up every little piece, including your relationship. Everything has to fit back together. And those are the challenges, and they're not easy.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Wagner. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to call Tina to come up. The contribution Wagner has made is so valuable and so powerful. We often see surgery and medical intervention as an end in itself, but we tend to forget that there's a human being with other interests that he has to maintain. And some of them are very important, such as economic survival. And is it fine? And now I'm going to introduce you to Tina Beck-Bessinger. And she likes the name Tina B. because she's not, Beck-Bessinger doesn't translate so well into any number of South African cultures, and not into Afrikaans either, which is my home language. Tina, thank you so much. You came up all the way from Durban. Tina has had a heart and lung transplant. How long ago?
Next week it'll be 9 years.
For 9 years she has been kept more than alive, but kept fully in life because of transplant.
Absolutely.
And I think one of the amazing phenomena is, to me, the ability to survive crises such as yours. Tell me how, psychologically, how do you do it?
Wow. A lot of help. I was born with my condition, so I started seeing a psychologist from early on in my life. And that helped a hell of a lot. I have a very supportive mum and dad. I have fantastic friends. I have the support system that Werner never had. And I've now studied to become a life coach so that I can offer support in that way for patients that are waiting surgery and transplant. But I think more than the support is the skill to look at what you do have. Gratitude. It's actually a skill that you need to master. And when you're in a situation where you're lying in bed and you're looking at four walls and you're on oxygen, how do you find that hope? How do you find that spark of life to push through and work through it? And that's where gratitude is so very important, is to start to focus on the things that you do have. And like I say again, when you're sitting in a hospital bed and you're lying on your back and you don't have enough energy to comb your hair or pick up a glass of water from the side of your bed, how do you find that hope? Well, you know what? You're still breathing and you're still alive. That's the first place. That's the first place we all need to look, is that we are alive. And we're here for an absolute reason. That's where I would start.
Thank you so much. And I think that's very powerful. There's basically so much you can add to that, and also nothing.
Yes, a lot.
A lot.
A lot of nothing.
Liesel, may we... there's one person in the audience I'd like to ask her just to join us briefly here for a moment. We don't have to have sound for her, but it's Meena Singh. Meena, would you mind to just step forward? And we have so many well-wishers here tonight, and people who really understand what angel touch is all about. And when she heard about the campaign, yours was the first booking that came in.
That's good and that's bad.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is Meena Singh. She's had a liver transplant. And I just wish to thank you and everybody here in this audience for your support. One of our supporters donated this incredibly beautiful arrangement of flowers. Most of you are here because you truly care about your fellow human beings, and for that we thank you. I'm now going to introduce to, well, more than introduce, I'm actually now going to step off the stage. You'll be grateful to learn. And, and have somebody else coming onto the stage, and it's an actor, and he's donated the proceeds of his performance. He doesn't wish to be paid or have any remuneration for his performance tonight, as a contribution to Angel Touch. I don't know if it's quite the right thing to say enjoy the show, because you may not. But it is certainly a gripping story. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's August, and the wind blows. It blows and blows the sand from the mine dumps, scattering it over the hills of the West Rand to the top of the hill where we live. The black polished front veranda is lightly covered by the golden sand, and my footprints follow me through the front door, past Mother's collection of milk jugs in a display cabinet, into the darkness of the house, the passageway, where all the spirits wander, the young, the old, and even the dead. And now? What now? Is my life receding like the dying chords of a broken-hearted waltz? I hear the droning sound of my car engine. Not my car engine. The droning sound of the dialysis machine. I hear voices, people. Doctors, they talk of cancer. I can hear Professor Haffajee. He's talking to Sister MacLeod, the woman with the blue eyes. I think he's slipping away now, very fast. Call the family. He's going into a very deep coma. A deep coma. Although I can hear every word spoken, I don't want to hear any more of their talk. I can hear the August winds howling and howling around the corners of the hospital. Is this how it feels to be swept away into eternity, swept along with the August winds? Please, Professor Haffajee, Sister MacLeod, say no more. I have to get out of here before it's too late. It is. It is the engine of my car. I hear. I'm on my way to Cape Town. The Graafreinet route. The Karoo land. I've just passed Aberdeen and now I'm on my way to Willowmore. About 3.5 hours, 4 hours, and I'll be in Cape Town. Ah, what a evolving landscape. Faded yellows and browns and greys. A tint of green. No, not green. It's not green. Blue and smoky blue. And there over the farthest hills, a sun dance. The sun is playing hide and seek with me. It peeks over that hill and then over that far hill. And look at that. Look how the sun is sliding so lazily down that blue mountainside. moments in eternity, and my secrets scattered over this barren landscape. My name is Jan. My mother calls me Jana. I'm 13 years, 7 months and 7 days old. Father died when I was 7 years, 7 months and 7 days old. It was a Thursday afternoon at dusk, April, autumn. Father was buried on Monday morning, 11 o'clock in the West Park Cemetery. And the people around the grave sang, "Hy dieptes gans verlore, en redding ver vandaan, waar hoop sy laaste spoor." Mother was 31 years old when Father died. My mother loves meetings. She's on many councils. She's the chairlady of the Women's Institute, and she's also the chairlady of the Women's Agricultural Union, and she plays tennis at the Van der Hoeven Park. And she says she's a good tennis player because she has ball sense. And now I'm living with my uncle and aunt here in Cape Town. My uncle wants to make a man out of me, but I play rugby. I am the captain of the A team, the under 14 A team, and there are many teams, ABC, there's 7 teams, and I am the captain of the A team. But rugby is not really my thing. I don't know why I play rugby. I don't have ball sense, and ball sense cannot be inherited. But I kick all right. But if that bloody ball is in my hand, I run like hell and I score a try because I'm fast. I'm a sprinter. I'm the fastest under 14 in the school for the 100 yards and the 220 yards. I'm also the fastest in the province. And I am also the fastest in the country for the 100 yards and the 220 yards. Going to church is not really my thing, but sometimes I skip school and then I take the train from Rondebosch Station to Cape Town Station. I love flowers. I go to the flower market and I smell the lilies and the carnations. I smell the roses, and the poppies smell like nothing. And then I walk further up Adderley Street, past the Grote Kerk on my left hand, and then turn right in Baal Street, and left again. And I walk through the gardens at Parliament, watching the squirrels munching acorns so greedily. And then I go and sit in the St. George's Cathedral, looking at the sunlight shining through the colors of the stained glass window. And colorful sun touching baby Jesus and Mother Mary so slightly. I'm 13 years, 7 months and 7 days old. It's early spring, and it's an extraordinary, joyful day. I'm sitting under the old oak tree in the Rondebosch garden, and the noble tree is elated because he's celebrating his newly born oak leaves. Suddenly, I can hear the oak tree. Young man, I know about the minutes, the moments that still reverberate through your being even now. And I can see your inner landscape remains dusky and indistinct, where dark shadows drift noisily past. Oh, no. Life is just too precious. And the noble tree gave me a kaleidoscope, and my life became a wondrous adventure. My uncle and aunt are respectable people. Mother says Doe Gerbrand is madly ambitious. Matilda's different. She approaches life with a good common sense, and a sense of humor keeps her going. Otherwise, she'd never keep her head above water. Doe Gerbrand just asks too much, and she knows too much. But she is the jewel in his crown, and like a dancing couple, they move through life, left to right and right to left, straight towards a very important person, powerful person. They are cocktail people. They are the pioneers of working the room. They are zoning in on their target in style and masterfully. They also have impeccable taste, especially Doe Gerbrand has an eye for a piece of furniture, and usually an antique, and he knows exactly where to place it. And he knows his fabrics too. Curtains and upholstery, and he loves dressing Matilda in the most exquisite fabrics. They also collected many artworks through the years. Maggie Loubser, Irma Stern, Walter Batters, and even Pierneef, and other paintings hang in their antique-filled rooms and make a statement. And over the mantelpiece hangs a Johannes Meintjes, and Doe Gerbrand loves this painting. The big, dark eyes of a young man look out at him with a longing invitation. My uncle and aunt are also very influential people. And as you can expect, they also have influential friends. Mr. and Mr. Plum are an example. Mr. Plum is a British citizen, and he's thought to be a billionaire. Plum Tree Pty Limited is world-renowned. His homestead in Bishop's Court in Cape Town is on 14 hectares, and in front of his Victorian villa flies the Union Jack. In London, he stays from time to time in his luxurious abode on Eaton Square, and 28 miles outside of London is the family estate Plum Tree that has been in the family for centuries. And then there's the Pendennis Castle, a luxurious liner, passenger liner, that plays a huge role in the lives of the Plums. They sail between Cape Town and Southampton at least 2 to 3 times a year. Mr. Plum is a man in his late 60s or early 70s. I'm not alone in my bed. In the morning, not Jan any longer. Thursday. I'm 13 years, 7 months, and 7 days old today. This day taunts me. A hideous clown with yellow eyes like the rising sun, dressed in a costume of blue velvet like the box that had the gold Mont Blanc inside. On the way to the school, my legs feel heavy. My brain feels muddy. The images of the night and endlessly repeating hell. My mind is on fire and my soul is crumbling. God is hiding in that green and blue folds of Table Mountain. At the school I hang my head in shame, and the mountain towers in judgment over me. And Hercules greets me at the gate, and he talks excitedly about the rugby season, the past rugby season, athletics training that is just about to begin, the latest in spikes and blocks. And I hear the mountain warning, echoing, shouting from it. Remember, you're not long anymore. You're not young any longer. I look at the mountain, at the folds, the mountain folds, the green, the blue mountain folds. The folds look like mother's embroidery. And the school and the mountain rush at me. And the mountain covers her eternity with a white tablecloth. I am so confused. Close to Willowmore. No, not Willowmore. Dialysis. I hear voices clearly. Every word spoken. It's fine with me. Let me be swept away into eternity, swept along with the August winds. My life was a wondrous adventure. And now, to be swept along into eternity will be a magical experience. Please, Lord, please, God, give me a few more minutes to complete this chapter. Please. Father, I was 7 years, 7 months and 7 days old when Father died. And then I was 14 years, 7 months and 7 days old when I received the kaleidoscope. And then today I'm 70 years old and 7 months and 7 days. Thank you, God. Thank you. I must be now close to Willowmore. Close to Willowmore. No, I'm not close to Willowmore. I'm on the back of a very strong dove. He spreads his wings and flies higher and higher, and far below the earth revolves like a lost soul. I journey through the echoing sounds of time past. What a wonderful revelation. I now no longer see a puzzle through a looking glass, but rather the true reflection of who I am. I understand now, not partially any longer, but fully. But just before I completely understand and grasp this new understanding, the dove dives towards earth. And I look at my shiny John Drake shoes. And the dove spreads his wings and flies away. And I look at the mountain. And in front of my eyes, the mountain is crinkling in front of me. And I see a green crag and a blue crag. God is no longer there. God is no longer there. Just the crinkling mountain.
I kick my blocks in the Cape earth. I slam it and I hit it, and I slam it and I hit it. And Hercules said, Jan, what is going on with you? Your blocks won't move any longer. Everybody's waiting for you. And I hear the bellowing voice of Mr. Erasmus, on your marks. I sink onto my blocks. Get set. And the shot propels me over the 100 yards. I walk home. I turn right in Riebeek Street. I stop in my tracks. In front of number 11 is the Rolls Royce parked. I retreat backwards, and then I turn around north into the interior on the road to Europe, and then on to London. But how will I survive in London? The street, the houses lining the street heading northwards are big and imposing, and dogs bark in the backyard. And London is far, very far, and I'll probably get hungry and tired and thirsty, and where will I sleep? And how many days a night to London through dark Africa? But Monday morning at the assembly, the priest said, if you have the belief of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. Everything is possible if you believe. Maybe I must believe, perhaps it's true. Just keep on walking, just keep on walking. But my blocks are heavy, and my satchel not much lighter. But perhaps I should just drop my blocks here. I'll never use it again, never. A blue dove flies past, and I wonder if it's not the same dove that almost took me to the answer. I slowly turn around south, towards the mountain, towards the sea, south. The decision is made. Nothing will change my mind, nothing. Mr. Plum, I'm going to deal with you. I'm going to reckon with you. I hold my blocks tightly in my left hand and my satchel on my right hand, retracing my steps, eyes straight ahead, unblinking. My whole body quivers with suspense, my whole repressed being. I turn right in Ribbeck Street. The silver shadow is parked in front of number 11, and 42 yards further, Mr. Plum comes into sight. I feel nausea rises. I drop my blocks and my satchel. The Rolls Royce is disappearing around the corner. My fucking education trust is as a murder. I pick up my vomit-covered blocks and my trust education, and I keep on walking to number 11. Matilda is pacing the front room, the sitting room, her face drawn, nervous and distraught. Oh, Jan, your blocks, talk to me, Jan. What happened to you? Please talk to me. Listen, Mr. Plum came here just after 2 o'clock, and he said he forgot something upstairs, and he went upstairs to the room, and he was there for 15, 20 minutes, I can't even remember, and he came down, and he was like a jack in a box, and he asked me to pour him a whiskey, and I poured him a whiskey, 2 or 3, a double whiskey, and then he went to the window, and where's the boy? Where's the boy? Oh my God, Jan. And then I knew exactly what happened. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Over the mantel, a young man with the dark eyes looked out at me with so much sympathy. Don't! My revenge is going to be huge! Friday morning. Today I'm 13 years, 7 months and 9 days old. And I know exactly what to do. My strategy has been minutely tuned. It's not going to be an ordinary school day, no. But with my school uniform and with my satchel that contains a very important device, I take the train from Runabout Station to Cape Town Station. I walk up Adderley Street, past the flower market, past the Grote Kerk. At the end of Adderley Street, I turn right in Vaal Street, past the gardens, past the St. George's Cathedral. The next block, I turn right. 3 blocks further, I stand in front of the Plum Tree building. My courage wants to desert me, but my right foot moves forward. My body follows, posing fire. After a couple of questions from the doorman, I take the lift to the 23rd floor. The The secretary, who reminds me of Miss Moneypenny in the James Bond movies, explains it's out of the question to see Mr. Plum without an appointment, my boy. I walk past her to Mr. Plum's office and open the door and walk in. Miss Moneypenny behind me. I put my satchel on his desk. Mr. Plum looks surprised to see me. Sir, it's out of the question. He just barged in here. I cannot believe this. He just barged in here. I've never seen something like that. Don't be concerned at all. I know this young man, a very gifted young athlete, and I'm planning a scholarship for him. But sir, he might have some manners. Yeah, naughty. And his beady eyes blink excitedly in my direction. Miss Moneypenny walks out briskly and closes the door behind her. Oh, my boy! You've made my day. I know you would have come. I know that. Oh, my boy, I have to admit. I do love you. You brought meaning and verve into my monotonous life. And Wednesday night was one of the greatest nights of my life. Your body so close to me in every way. Yes, I saw you when you came in. You put your satchel on my desk and very surreptitiously you opened it. You wanted to show me the gold Mont Blanc pen that you are writing with. Yes, sir, the best money can buy. I forgot to lock the door. He locks the door, and when his expression changes, crumpling with lust as he moves closer. My eyes freeze, my mouth clench. Come on, my boy, just relax into it. When I feel the wetness on my face, my mouth again, I cannot tolerate it any longer, and I pushed him away hard, and he stumbles and lands on a couch. His eyes frightened. Sir, what you did to me was horrible. You're a immoral and smutty and indecent old man, sir. Sir. And soon I'll be rich. Almost as rich as you are. What are you talking about, rich? How? Sir, this is my savings account at the post office. I wrote it neatly and in big and with my best handwriting so that there can be no mistake. Is that clear, sir? What must I do with this? Easy enough, sir. Before 3 o'clock today, you must deposit £1 million in that account. He struggles to get up, but falls back on the couch, his face red, bright red. His mouth opens and closes, No word emerges. He struggles again and gets it right this time. Have you any idea? Have you any idea? Oh, you stupid boy. Have you any idea what is £1 million, sir? Sir, have you any idea what you've done to me, sir? I'm 13 years old and you can be jailed for this. My boy! I thought you liked it. You wanted it. No, sir. How can I like it? It's horrible. You demolished my youth, my thoughts. Ah, my boy, don't have this attitude. What about a scholarship? And I know your mother struggles financially and I can help. I grab my satchel from the stable and I walk to the door and unlock it. You stupid boy! What are you thinking? It's your word against my word. This is what it is. Nobody will believe you. Nobody. Everybody knows you're kind of trash. The time now is upon me. I unzip my satchel and pull it out. This, sir, is the best tape recorder that money can buy. His eyes wants to pop out of his head. Give it to me! Give it to me! I swing open the door. 3 o'clock deadline. I run past Moneypenny and jerk open the door behind her. Corridor stairs. I hear him shouting, "Call security! Call security!" I jump 2-3 steps at a time, and now I can hear from above the clatter of footsteps towards me. I increase my footsteps. Then I hear from below more footsteps rising towards me. Jan, focus, 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 focus. Next floor, corridor, door right, fire escape. I found myself in a backyard with rubbish bins. I can see Table Mountain, the other side of the wall. The tape recorder feels uncomfortably dangerous in my satchel. There's a high gate, iron gate. I think of the possibility of jumping over the gate, but it's just too high. I feel panicking. I hear the clinking of metal and keys. And in the far corner of the courtyard, a metal door springs open. And 5, 6, 7 security men spring out of the doorway and closing in on me. Hey! There that is, that stupid child. Catch him! I roer, vang hom! Vang hom! A tall man with red hair grabs my shoulders. You little bastard! His hands drills painfully in my shoulders. Where is that fucking tape recorder? No, this is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. My head speeds ahead. My brain speeds ahead. I lift my right knee like I jump out of my blocks and I hit him where I planned to hit him. His grip loosens and he howls with pain, and with great speed I run up the fire escape and jerk open the door. Corridor, one open door. Guru Kali, tailor for men.
Guru sits at his sewing machine, back to the door. Radio next to him. The radio plays What a Wonderful World of Sam Cooke. I creep in and crawl under the sewing table. Seconds later, I hear footsteps in the corridor. Two of them stick their heads in. Hey, Chara! Did you see a schoolboy with a school uniform, huh? Did you? Don't call me names. I don't call you names. Fuck out of my space, you stupid Afrikaans piece of shit. I sit under that table for another song. And then I crawl out under the table and tiptoe to the door. The corridor, quiet, left to the end of the corridor. 2 floors down to the parking basement. It's quiet there now too. I run out of the basement and 2 security men spot me. It's easy to shake them off. I run and I run and I run into one of the side doors of the St. George's Cathedral, and I kneel at the pulpit. Mother Mary provides the answer. I don't know what I must do now. I stretch and I put the tape recorder behind her back and the wall. She and baby Jesus smile at me. They smile at me. And then I hear clack, 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 as the tape recorder drops deeply and safely behind her back, and the old wall, stone wall. I'm seriously relieved now. Outside, I hear the 12 o'clock cannon from Signal Hill. Down the road is a telephone booth, and I make a call, and I'm put through immediately. Sir, it's Jan. I just want to tell you, sir, you mustn't forget about the money, the £1 million, huh? Perhaps you have deposited it already, sir, but don't forget about it, sir. And sir, just one thing more, I just want to tell you the tape recorder is safe, sir, with baby Jesus and Mother Mary. And another thing, sir, I want to tell you as well, is God works in mysterious ways, sir. You get away! Opposite the street is Sterrefords. I'm hungry. If I had money now, I'll go to the tea room on the 2nd floor and have a piece of cake like Matilda and I sometimes do. But I don't have any more money. I've just spent the last sticky on that telephone call and a return ticket back to Ronnebosch station. Oh, no. I hear the wail of sirens coming around the corner from up Adderley Street. Men mounted on motorbikes with blue uniforms speed past, followed by a black Cadillac. And I recognize the Prime Minister, Mr. J.G. Stradum, and his wife in the back of the car. So relieved. Time ticks by so slowly. This afternoon, I take a stroll down to the harbour. The Peninas Castle looks so welcoming as I stand on the quay, and I smile at the Union Jack waving from a flagpole. The Grote Kerk clock strikes 3 o'clock, and the post office doors are wide open.
to this spring day. Somebody's birthday in the post office, because I can hear happy birthday being sung somewhere at the back. A young girl appears. She looks impatiently at me. I push my savings account book over the counter. I just want to know if my money is being paid in. £1 million. Her eyes flicker from excitement. Yes, just wait. Just wait. Mr. De Lange! Mr. De Lange! The millionaire is here. It's a kid, sir. Mr. De Lange appears the other side of the counter. A square man wearing a toupee. The whole mob tilts to the right. He looks me up and down, ups and down. So you are the so-called millionaire. So-called millionaire. Sure. I smell a dead rat. In the 30 years I've been working here at the post office, this is the first time that £1 million has been wired through to this post office. Sure, let me explain. Before this money can be paid over in your account, your father or your mother or perhaps your guardian must be here to sign. Sure. And wait, the police also, they must sign a sworn affidavit before the money can be paid over. Sure, but I'm smelling a dead rat. Who would like to give you £1 million? No money will be paid out today. I stretch and I take my savings account book. But what I know now, that I'm indeed a millionaire. I am a millionaire. And what I also know is that Mr. Plum anticipated that this will happen at the post office. A new strategy is needed. And when I arrive at Rondebosch, I know exactly what to do. Minutely calculated. The steps I'll take. It's like a melody in my head, and a small burst of joy explodes in me and skipping out of me, up, a sunbeam. I turn right in Riebeek Street, and in front of number 11, the Rolls Royce is parked. No, not into the interior, no. My right foot begins to move. I follow. I stand next to the silver shadow. I sink onto my blocks. I'm not going to come second today. Today I'm going to break a world record. I turn the brass handle and open the door. I can hear an exciting buzz from the dining room. I walk through the foyer and through the big doors into the dining room. I walk like an athlete that's going to receive a trophy. I'm not the slightest bit scared anymore. I walk straight up, like a very trained athlete. They're looking up. Miss Plum,
Matilda and Doe. They stare at me. Doe rises. Jan, what on earth possesses you? Have you lost your mind? Do you know? Have you any idea what you've done? Do you know what is your future? A reformatory somewhere in Transvaal. There's one in Plum. No, there's not one. Somewhere in Transvaal, there's one in Pretoria, I think, and then there's one in Bloem. No, I don't know Bloemfontein, but in Springfontein, where there was a concentration camp. Mr. Plum gets up. Listen, Doe and Matilda, this boy should be admitted. He is a very sick boy. You are not going to get away with this. Come, Jan, come, let me explain to you. What you have done is criminal. It's called extortion, and you can be jailed for extortion. Excuse me, talking about jail. Jail? Boy, don't cross me, boy. Just don't cross me. You're not going to get away with this. Jan, for your own sake, and for your school career, and for your athletics career, the money must be paid back, Jan. I, as your guardian, will handle it. You don't have to do anything. Mr. Plum and I will handle it. And listen very carefully. Mr. Plum made a wonderful offer. He, listen very carefully, he's prepared to send you to the best athletic trainer in South Africa. Huh? And wait a bit, more is coming. He will import the best spikes from Germany, and also he will also blocks import from Germany. Yes, Mr. Erasmus is the best athletic trainer that you can get, and my spikes is good enough, and blocks are blocks. You unthankful, stupid boy! Stupid boy! You'll never ever getting away with this, never! Sir, I want to thank you very much for £1 million, and I will always be thankful for a good start in life, very good start in life, and this boy is a sick boy! You're not getting away with this! You'll never get away with this! Doe, if you don't want to sign for me, then I'll get my mother to sign, and I'm sure she will sign. This boy should be admitted. He's a sick boy. He must be, and I will pay for it. I demand it. That's right, sir. Perhaps I should be admitted in a reformatory. It's right, sir. I agree with you. And sir, perhaps the tape will be very helpful for the people there to treat me. They stare at me. They stare at me. Mr. Plum, Matilda. and dan Gerbrand. The noble tree smiles at me. I no longer see a puzzle through a looking glass, but rather the true reflection of who I am. I understand now, not partially any longer, but fully. Thank you, God.